Shad Khan sometimes makes it extremely difficult for myself to root for this team, for this fan base to root for this team, and for this community to root for this team. I wake up this morning after a long night of working last night. I had to cover the Utah Jazz and the Orlando Magic game, and I see Doug Pederson's fired. We all knew the news was coming. I said, great. I rejoiced. I was ecstatic. Cool, we finally got that out of the way. Where's the Trent Baalke firing? And everyone's like, oh, brother, let's wait for this guy to find out. Because Demetrius Harvey and every other Jags beat reporter had announced that Trent Baalke was staying and that Shad Khan and Trent Baalke have an interview at 2 p.m. this afternoon. And I have to just sit here in my agony now and realize what a dumb decision Shad Khan is making. I love the guy personally. I think Shad Khan is a wonderful businessman. I think Shad Khan is probably a wonderful person. Don't know him personally. Yet, he's reluctant to make a general manager search in order to make his national football team that is worth billions of dollars better and a more competitive product, especially with a franchise quarterback who we all believe in. At least most of us Jags fans believe in. And Trent Baalke gets to keep his job. Trent Baalke, the general manager, who was a terrible general manager in San Francisco, consistently had power struggles, brought that exact same thing here to the bold city of the South in Jacksonville. He did the exact same thing. He got Doug Marrone fired, which made sense. Got Urban Meyer fired halfway through the season, which you could blame Urban Meyer, but nonetheless it happened. Now 3 seasons with Doug Pederson gets him fired. So you're telling me Trent Baalke, who spent 4 full seasons in Jacksonville now, has accumulated a record of 25-43, has had all the leverage, all the draft capital, all the money in the world to spend, and to do at your leisure, has put together a roster of 25-43. And here's what makes it worse. Shad Khan had to open his damn mouth at the beginning of the season and tell his own players, this is the best Jaguars roster we've ever constructed. Get the hell out of here. Okay, I didn't even live through the early prime days of Fred Taylor and Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell and Mark Brunell. I didn't live through that. I was born in 2001. But I know damn well this roster was not competing with that roster. I know damn well this roster probably wasn't competing with that 2017 defense. Okay? And Shad Khan had to just make matters worse. This is not really about Shad Khan now. I've said what I've said. Let's talk about Trent Baalke some more. Let's talk about Trent Baalke, his mishaps, and the Jaguars' reluctancy, and Shad Khan's reluctancy to move on from Trent Baalke. Let's just look at the facts. Let's go back to 2021. This is when Trent Baalke first had reign as general manager over this Jaguars team. This is when the course of the Jaguars was supposed to change with a franchise quarterback, number 16 from the University of Clemson, from Cartersville, Georgia, William Trevor Lawrence. Now, the Jaguars took, in the 2021 draft class, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Tyson Campbell, Walker Little, Andre Sisco, Jay Tufele, Jordan Smith, Luke Farrell, and Jalen Camp. 2020 hindsight, it still is a very good class. I cannot believe the drop-off that Andre Sisco had. Jay Tufele, Jordan Smith could never stay healthy. Luke Farrell was always a nice pick. I did like that as a late-round pick. And then I don't know how much credit I'm going to give you for taking Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sure if Travis Etienne was a Trent Baalke pick, considering the fact that Urban Meyer made that pick. And Tyson Campbell was a good pick. Walker Little is still pending. We'll see. I don't know if Walker Little truly is that franchise left tackle, but you would suspect that obviously Trent Baalke was keeping that job after he gave Walker Little that extension this year. Now let's take a look at the 2021 draft class, the free agent class. You got C.J. Beathard, Carlos Hyde, Marvin Jones Jr., Philip Dorsett, Chris Manhertz, Tim Tebow, Roy Robertson Harrison, Malcolm Brown, Jihad Ward, Shaq Griffin, Rayshawn Jenkins, Rudy Ford, and of course, the best kick returner in Jaguars history, the guy who all my homies love, Jamal Agnew. That's not a terrible free agent class. I mean, look, it's the first year. You're not trying to go out there and spend all this money. You're trying to get some solid pieces. Shaq Griffin was okay, not great. Marvin Jones, we all got a lot of love for. Jamal Agnew was a great signing. You had some solid players in there. Rayshawn Jenkins was an integral part of the team's success. You know, Roy Robertson Harrison was integral to the team's success at times. Chris Manhertz was a solid vet. not terrible, not great. Now, 2022 is when you can start making some really questionable head-scratching moves. Now, look, I'm a huge believer in Trayvon Walker, always have been, always will be. But having said that, people wanted Aiden Hutchinson, and Aiden Hutchinson is a very good defensive edge, just like Trayvon Walker, even though I still believe Trayvon Walker has the higher ceiling. Now, where it gets tricky is because Trayvon now has back-to-back double-digit seasons of sack numbers. I think he's going to continue to get better. But you take Trayvon Walker in 2022. You then take Devin Lloyd, who I'm still questionable on. I'm still not completely sold on him. We all know you whiffed on Luke Fortner. Chad Muma, he's good. He's improved, but Snoop Connor, Gregory Jr., and Monteric Brown. Not loving that draft class. Let's talk about the 2022 free agency class, which he did nail some picks here. You got Brandon Sheriff, Foye, Falarantu Fatakasi, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, Darius Williams. You did a good job with the 2022 free agent class. I will give him that. 2023, though, let's go to the draft class. Anton Harrison, good pick, but it feels as if he regressed this year. Brenton Strange looks like an okay pick. Tank Bigsby, Ventrell Miller, Tyler Lacey, Yasir Abdullah, Antonio Johnson fell off a cliff. Parker Washington looks like a great late-round pick. Christian Braswell, Eric Hallett, Cooper Hodges, Derek Parrish, and Ramon Vashahek. Not really sure what to make of that draft class. 2023 free agency class, they didn't spend a lot of money after spending a ton in 2022. And then let's go to the 2024 draft picks. Now, I did forget to mention in 2022, I'll essentially count the Calvin Ridley trade going into 2023 as a part of that free agency class, even though you didn't extend him, which thank goodness, because if we did extend him, we wouldn't have Brian Thomas Jr. is who I'm getting to now. So 2024 draft class, and I promise I'm going to stop talking about the players that we've been retaining. We got Brian Thomas Jr., Mason Smith, Jarian Jones, Javon Foster, Jordan Jefferson, DeAndre Prince, Killian Robinson, Cam Little, and Miles Cole. Now, Brian Thomas looks like a top 5 wide receiver in football. We're all grateful for him. Mason Smith, when he played, showed that he had some force in the interior. Jarian Jones, I think, is still going to be a wonderful outside corner, opposite side of Tyson Campbell. Corner is still a need for the Jaguars, which they have not found. Javon Foster didn't get a lot of reps. And then Cam Little obviously is going to be the future franchise kicker. Congratulations for him for breaking the rookie franchise record for most points, surpassing Fred Taylor. Now, having said all of that, what grade are we giving Trent Baalke? Like I said, a 25-43 record, a very average to maybe below average draft class picks, a very average to below average free agency class year in and year out. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have the next head coach that you really, really want. You can't have the next coach that's upcoming and promising stepping into this organization with a general manager who has 1 year left on his contract that is clearly not a hand-picked general manager by the head coach. You need to see eye to eye. You need to be able to have everything flowing in a certain direction and everybody on the exact same page. You need a culture reset. And clearly Trent Baalke is not the answer. Trevor Lawrence is never, I repeat, never going to reach his full potential with Trent Baalke as general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I am sick and tired of it. I'm not saying I'm going to sit here and boycott the team, even though I definitely feel that way. Of course, I'm still going to watch and support the Jags as much as I can in between my work and my career. But I'm sure as hell not going to any of those games next year. I am not going to a Kansas City game. I'm not going to the Seattle game or the Rams game or whoever the hell else we're playing at home next year. I can assure you of that. I can assure you until I see some changes, until I see Shad Khan grab himself by the cojones and go through these coaching interviews, and all of these coaches say, I'm not coming to your organization even though I want to unless you fire this guy and you let me pick my general manager, which every coach should, then maybe I'll have a change of heart. But I can promise you the way that I feel right now, I am absolutely not attending a single game next year in Jacksonville, even though I only went to one this year, which was the Cleveland game, which was early in the season. I guess we had high hopes for the season, and it obviously just went down the drain. And then, of course, I got busy with life and work. So, having said all that, I'm pissed. This team, this franchise, is in an absolute disarray. This is nothing new. I just feel like I've just become so numb to the pain. I'm so desensitized to the idiocy that Shad Khan has allowed to run this franchise. And Trent Baalke gets another crack at it for whatever reason. Like I said, I just hope Shad Khan has a wake-up call when going through these coaching interviews, and they're all like, look, I'll gladly come to your franchise, but I'm not working with Trent Baalke, and every coach should be saying that. But I've said my piece. I've made my thoughts pretty clear. I tried not to be too explicit, and I just try to get my point across. But having said all that, Jags fans, please tell me how you guys are feeling. Secondly, I want to say I do miss you guys. I obviously do miss making Jaguars content. I do miss being consistent within the Jaguars community. Obviously, my life is just so busy with my career, my aspirations in sports journalism, covering and working alongside the Orlando Magic. I know you guys see all the work that I do on Twitter, on Instagram, everything like that. I'm always grateful for everything that you guys did for me and for you guys always supporting me and even being here right now just to hear me vent and bitch and complain about this team. But having said that, like I said, love you guys, miss you guys always, miss Jaguars coverage like always, and I just want what's best for Trevor Lawrence. Let's just put it like that. Whatever is best for Trevor Lawrence, whatever's best for Brian Thomas, that is all that I want. Whatever we can do to make them happy, to make them successful is all I want. And congratulations, Trevor Lawrence. I believe it was reported that him and Marissa had their child. I don't know if that's been formally announced yet, but a Clemson insider source had said that. If that's the case, congratulations, Trevor Lawrence, to him and his family. But that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching. Make sure you guys do go follow me on Twitter at TheBrettJames1. And I love you guys. Go Jags.